like you don't know.
I know, really. I can't see the difference.
I know, but I can't.
All right, hi guys. Chelsea Coffey here at the Coffee Break, and I'm joined by my dear friend Veronica.
For now.
I know, we just had a little tip. A little tip on who's going to be on what side. And it's silly because I didn't even know that, like, I had a preference until she asked me to move. So that says something. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about being present. And it's a concept that I feel like is kind of popular right now.
Yeah.
And you do hear a lot of people talking about it, but it doesn't make it any less important. And we were in the car the other day on the way from yoga, and she said something that really stuck out to me, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's something that really kind of put into perspective, I think, a lot of what I'm going through right now. And it's just the overall idea of like being present and how when we don't commit to that, what it does for us emotionally. So Veronica, if you remember like the quote and you want to kind of share, I think that would be great.
When you're thinking about the past, it really is dredging up depression. And so when you're, because of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah.
And so really, and again, it's like the control of what you don't have anymore.
Yeah.
The answer to getting out of that depression is presence. And just being present in the now and being grateful for the past, whether it was positive or negative,
right.
You know, because, and we've talked about this before a lot, and I know that you've written blogs about like, you know, things that happened to you in the past that are failures, perceived failures, are something that you can learn a ton from,
right.
And brings you to a certain situation that, you know, so no matter what, just whether it's a failure or a success or
and I think that that's like something that you said that was like I hadn't thought of before, like the idea that I think sometimes we assume that like it's bad things that happen to us that can kind of hold us back, and in my experience I actually realized that like sometimes they're good experiences or sometimes they're like good things that have happened to us that for me personally I know that like I just was holding on to too much, and like the you know the good memory of it was preventing me from like genuinely seeking out new good memories. You know what I mean? Just because in my mind I had already checked off the box for like that thing that I had on a pedestal when like no.
Right. And our memory doesn't serve us, right? Because
absolutely not.
Like,
I have rosy colored glasses.
Yeah. And we can create whatever we want, right? So we can say, for a relationship, either a friendship or a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, when you're thinking about the past, and you're like, oh, like, and this was so great, and that was so great.
And then they did this, and then they did
remember the time, and then, no.
It's like, also, the person was also this or that.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right, exactly.
And it's beautiful to be a positive person and to, like, you know, look back on that. But I think what it comes down to is, like, what we're really talking about right now, which is being present. So it doesn't matter that those things were good or bad. I think, to Veronica's point, you should be grateful for them.
Yeah.
I really love that whole like mindset about just having gratitude for it, because I think gratitude allows you to like appreciate it and let it go. And I think that's like really special.
Yeah.
But then I guess it's kind of like what we talked about next though is like it's also intertwined in a way. So if you are thinking about what should have happened or what could have happened, sometimes it can create in us this sense of like, okay, I need to fix everything like now because I messed up before or I did something that I regret. So then you're like, you know.
Yeah. And then as we were saying before also is that transfers to the future.
Yeah.
So you've got this anxiety of, okay, I learned from this, so I can't do that again.
Yeah,
and if I do, or what am I going to do in the future? Like, how
am I going to fix it? What's going to be the change? What's going to be different?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so the thing is when we live in the future, that creates anxiety. And so because we can't control it, and you're just, I mean, our minds are so creative, you know, like we can think of the most brilliant, amazing thing, and again, it could be a positive thing that gives us anxiety of like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and it's going to be great, and then how is that going to actually happen, and what is it, you know, and like, oh God, like, and then it's is
you're getting
palpitations,
anxiety because
yeah.
you're trying to figure out how this great thing is going to happen. I think I definitely fall more into that category. I'm
Yeah.
not really like a doomsayer, so
Yeah.
for me, I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, these wonderful blessings are coming.
Right.
You know, and then I'm like, when is it gonna happen? How is it gonna happen? I'm waiting for it to happen, you know? So I think it all kind of like, I feel like being present really is the center. And I think like anytime you pull too far, like moving forward or going backward, like you're not able to, or I'm not able to like appreciate what's happening.
So what does that mean, the present, and how do I get
harness
there?
that? Yeah.
And so there's a few things in yoga that we do, several tools that we use, and one of them is meditation. And meditation can happen anywhere. You could be driving in a car. You can be at a party, and you can just still use these
I do
tools.
that every time somebody offends me. I dip out and meditate.
Like, and speaking of, you know, breath is another one. So we do a thing called a mudra. So you can either bring your fingers together like this, again with the cheesiness, but what it is just bringing your attention to the physicality of your fingertips touching. Mm-hmm. And so you take the physical.
Because some people struggle staying on task, staying on time. I'm one of them.
I don't know who these people are. I don't know these people, but I can imagine.
So, you know your tape. So anyway, something as simple as doing this is like a forced thing that you have to commit to do, even if it's something so simple.
Yeah,
and I love that.
And this is another one. It's a mudra like this. And your drishti is your focus and your gaze. And that's something that you use on your mat when you're practicing and off your mat when you're feeling distracted, or I have to tell myself like a million times a day when I'm on my computer and I'm trying to get stuff done, and it's like, oh, and then I find myself like watching this video about this cat. It's like whatever, or this
that happened to me this morning.
I don't even like cats.
And I'm like,
I know. And so you're watching this video, or you're reading a Huffington Post article, which are great, and that's not what you're doing right now. Like, you're supposed to be writing, you're supposed to be doing this thing, and so as you're trying to, I have to be like, okay, drishti, and so your drishti is your focus and your gaze, and so you zone into what are you looking at right now, and you almost have to have like a mental commentary of like, I'm looking at my screen, I'm looking at Huffington Post, I'm closing Huffington Post, and now I'm writing. Like, you have to
you have to recircuit your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
Recircuit, totally, you know.
And I know it might sound like kind of corny, especially for people who are like really disciplined or really structured, but guys, like when I tell you, like for people who are like easily distracted, such as myself, like, you know, like sometimes it really does take doing all that to like reroute.
Oh,
it's
sure.
like a natural series.
No, you know? And God bless those people who don't have. I mean, I'm sure they exist, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're out there, and that's something that's like a natural thing that happens to you. That's great.
Yeah.
That's your thing. But for me and the majority of people, no matter what, you have to be really cognizant of your presence and being present.
I love that. So. Let's give them something to take away. So 3 tips that you would offer on how to be present.
So the 3 tips really are just using your breath to listen to yourself. And then, again, your gaze. What am I looking at? What's right here, right now? The thing that I would do, I would put on my phone. I would put an alarm.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I would do an alarm like 3 times a day.
Some people do like affirmation alarms. Like, you're killing it today. Like, you're doing so great. Like, you're going to meet new people. You're going to connect. I love that. Yeah.
No, but I would do, and I would even have it, I would call it like a gratitude. I'd have a gratitude alarm. And so when the alarm would go off, it'd be like, oh, hey, stop what you're doing and just be in that moment grateful. Yeah. You know? And just be very, but really, it's being present grateful in that present moment.
Yeah, like don't like rack your brain trying that you feel
You're
bad
like, oh God,
you can't
what am
think
I
of anything.
grateful for? Yeah. Or just present. Just be present. You know, like don't even you don't have to make it complicated.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have don't give yourself homework.
Yeah, no.
Don't like.
You want to incorporate it into your lifestyle. I think what I shared on the Periscope video earlier was that one of the jobs that I had was working for T-Mobile. And I think I've mentioned this before, but for anybody who hasn't heard it, T-Mobile has part of their training is called Be Here Now. And it's the whole idea that anyone who comes in to a T-Mobile store like should be able to get a certain experience. So whether you're having a bad day, you have a test, like you got in a fight with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, like whatever it is that you have going on, like it doesn't matter. Like once you walk through that door, you need to be here now because the customers that are coming in deserve to have a certain experience. And I think that if you're able to tap into that, you know, when you're with your family, when you're sitting with a client, when you're
like your families, your customers,
Yeah.
your people. I mean, the people in your
Absolutely.
presence are your
Yeah.
customers.
It's like, and it's hard for me because I, you know, always have my phone in my hand or I'm always thinking about like the next thing. So it has absolutely been an exercise or a practice, like Veronica's been saying, to really tap into a place where, you know, you're giving your best in any situation, in any environment. So anyway, that's it. Like I said, I love the whole concept of like looking back and looking forward and how the solution is just to be present. And it's very fitting in regard to where I am right now, which is just asking God to lead me like step by step by step.
Yeah.
You know, in this.
I'm sure you've heard the analogy before. Like life is like you're driving in the dark, and you've got with your headlights, and you can see in front of you, so you feel confident about that. But it's like that blackness, the darkness of like the future is absolutely like anxiety driving if you're, because you don't know. But at the same time, when I think about where I've come, everything I've done in my life, if somebody would have told me at age 15 or 18, oh, P.S., you're going to, get married, move to New York, then you're going to move to Colorado for 7 years, and you're going to sit there for a little bit, then, this is going to happen, and if somebody were to tell me at 18, you're going to move to France, then you're going to do it, like, everything that I've been through in my life in the last, 15 years, I would have had a freaking panic attack.
Oh my God.
I was like,
how do I fix it? What do I do?
What do you mean Texas? I'm going to end up in Houston? No, shoot me now. I'm just kidding. I love Texas. God bless Texas.
God bless Texas.
No, but do you know what I mean? If we can't handle the truth. We can't handle the future. It's too much.
Anyway, on that note, I'm going to try to marinate on my naivete in the present moment because I got Veronica for 16 more minutes. So anyway.
Yeah, I got to go. Speaking of presents.
Thanks so much for watching. And, you can follow me at The Coffee Break on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope. Veronica, do you want them to find you?
Not really.
Okay. Well, all right. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.